things. The fact that they can perhaps gather more money, close the tax gap, the evil tax gap, is kind of beside the point, in my opinion. Now, something else has come up about this bill, and so people are asking, is there a mileage tax in this bill? Is that something that we should be considered about too? And so I did a little research, and we found out, yes, it's not in the bill, but there is some information. They are doing a pilot program to determine whether that's something they should do or not. Should they implement this new program? So let's do a little research on it. Okay. So here's this is from the Tax Foundation. It's a good organization that talks about taxes, obviously, but they have a good article here about it. This week, the Mileage-Based User Fee Alliance held an annual conference. I was invited to speak. Well, whatever. The group is interested in how mileage-based taxes could help better fund transportation spending and how it can price roads it can better price roads than the gas tax. Mileage taxes are levied on drivers based on the number of miles they drive. For example, a driver could be charged 12 cents a mile for driving on a highway. If they drive 100 miles on this highway a month, that means a $12 bill. This is similar to tolling, but the technology could potentially allow the tax to be much more flexible in terms of where and when it is levied. Now, this is what concerns me about it. It's the where and when. So if it's true, you could adjust it. Whether I'm on a highway, I can charge one fee. If I'm on the roadways, I could charge another fee. If it's during rush hour, I can charge yet another fee. But to do that, what does that take? That takes tracking. That means they have to know where your car is at all times. And no matter where you go or how long you stay there, there's going to be a record of it. And many people don't want a record of where they go, don't want the government so easily to know exactly where they're going. Did you go to that protest? Oh. Were you in Washington, D.C. on January 6th? Oh, right. These are things that we should not allow our government to be able to track us. Now for legitimate reasons, I understand why they're going about this. And here's a very good article in Forbes. We tend to turn to Forbes a lot for tax issues, right? There's a lot of good articles in there. So here's infrastructure package includes vehicle mileage tax program. It's a proposal. Okay, so they're doing a pilot program. But here's the thing: the pilot program is because they need a way to figure out how to do it. They don't know how to do it. So they say, well, this bill isn't going to implement it. Well, because they don't know how to implement it. If they knew how to implement it, I think they would implement it. But then we have to wonder, well, what good is a pilot program to find out how to implement it if we implement it and we're all against it? Why even go there? Why even look at that? So, but it's a good article. The U.S. Senate passed President Joe Biden's infrastructure bill with bipartisan support. This article is from August. So they did with 19 Republicans. In the $2,700 infrastructure bill is a pilot program for a vehicle mileage tax. Here's how it works. A vehicle mileage tax or vehicle miles traveled fee would charge motorists a fee based on how many miles they drive. Simply put, if you drive a vehicle, you would pay money to the government for every mile you drive. The time period can vary, but typically a vehicle miles travel fee is measured in a 1-year period. A vehicle mileage travel fee can be used to raise revenue for transportation infrastructure. Well, that's true. I mean, of course it can. How big is the vehicle miles? The infrastructure bill includes $125 million to fund a pilot program to test the national vehicle miles travel fee. Now, do you spend $125 million on a program that you're not really interested in? Oh, we're just doing a pilot. So it's not really a test. It's a pilot program. They're spending $125 million on it. This includes $10 million each year for 2020 for National Vehicles Miles Traveled Fee Pilot Program and state and local pilot programs. There's a couple of states now that do have this pilot program in place. Utah and Oregon both have this in place for fee by the mile. Why does the infrastructure package include a vehicle miles travel fee? According to the infrastructure package, the goal of the vehicle miles travel fee is to test the feasibility of a road usage fee. Another goal, according to the infrastructure bill, is to conduct public education and outreach to increase public awareness regarding the need for user-based alternative. Now, I have the bill up, and I meant to pull it up, but I'd have to go through it now. I didn't pull it up. But it's on page 500, about 510 of the bill. I was reading the bill today. And it is true, again, that this is just a pilot program. And they're trying to figure out, again, what they have to do is they have to track us all, every mile that we drive. And again, the more efficient the program, the more dangerous it becomes, right? Because to be efficient means the more information. And we are in a time that information is king. Look at what's happened now with Facebook and Twitter. They have great ideas. These are great venues that could be used for good, but they're also could be used for very nefarious purposes and control. And this is what we're concerned about. We're concerned about the federal government and state government, to be honest with you, controlling us and knowing exactly where we go. John McAfee made some very, very good arguments about this, about the tracking issue, right? Well, it's good. It's efficient government. They can know where I am and tax me for every mile I go. But sometimes people don't want people to know where they were or how long they stayed. Or, perhaps you're having an affair on your wife and you don't want her to know. Should the government know? Maybe you went to some venue that you don't want everybody to know that you went to. Should we let the government know that you were there? It's the same thing with this, with the bank statements. Well, we won't look at that. We won't pay attention to that. But we all know that the government abuses their powers that they have. And the more power we give them, the more they'll abuse it. That just goes without saying.